Today's daf is Masechta Sota, Daf Memches. So we're at the bottom of Zayin or Beis, the second to last line, the fourth word from the end of the line by the two dots. So Zok the Gemara. The Mishnah said, Yochanan and Kohen Gadol heavier hoydayas hamaiser. So Yochanan Kohen Gadol, the Mishnah said, he's mevatel video and maisers. So Zok the Gemara, my time was mevatel. Amar Rabbi Yosef B'chinim, Rabbi Yosef said, Lafi she'ein noisen oisa kitikunai. The Rachman, because they don't give it now like you're supposed to. The Rachmana Amar Yahavi Lovim, because Torah says to give it to Leviyim, Va'anan koyavinu lekahanim, and we give it to the koyanim, because Ezra was knas the Leviyim that they shouldn't be mekabel ma'aser rishon, and Nevidir, it says the Sat of the Levi in Dvar and Parak above Pasuk Gimel, and you can't say that because Ezra was second that you give it to the Kohen. And the reason why Ezra gave him a knas is because they didn't go up with him to Yisrael. So, affecting more of a Loid Yashar, let the Loid Yashar Maisis, let them do the video on the other rest of the Maisis, not Maiserishan. So, Gemara, Mershlakish call bias, She'em Esfadal Maiserishan. Any house that you don't do the video on the Maiserishan, you should not do the video on any other Maiseris, and therefore you do not do a video at all. So like Gemara, my taima, what's Pshat of Shlakish? Amar Abaya, Hoyel Pasach Ba'akasav Tchila, because the Torah starts off talking about first Maiserishan in the parsha of video Maiseris. Zak the Gemara Vaitu. So the Gemara asks Rabbi Yosef B'chinim that says that they used to give Maiserishan to the Kohanim. So the Gemara Mechlal, you see from what he said, that they would still separate Maiserishan in his days. In fact, Gemara about Tanya Afhu Bitos Avidui. In fact, Gemara learned her Bais that says Yochanan Kohen Gadol also is Mevatel Avidui Maiseris V'Gazar Al Demai, and his Gazar Al Demai Lefi Sheshalach Chog Vol Yisrael V'Ra She'im Afrishan Al Trum Gedol Ava, and then his Gazar Al Demai because he saw that he looked around the whole Glor Yisrael and he saw that Amaratzim, the only thing they were mafresh was Trum Gedoyla, but Maiserishan and Maiser Sheni, Ksasa Ma'aser, Ksasa Ma'aser, and he found that Maiserishan and Maiser Sheni, however, only some were Ma'aser and some were not Ma'aser. So the Gemara is saying that we see that his guys are the Mai because he found out that they were only mafresh Trum Gedoyla, and Maiserishan and Maiser Sheni, some did and some didn't. So Yochanan told his Chaverim, just like Trum Gedoyla Zavamisi, he said Kach Trumas Ma'aser Teva also has it's a very misim de Shemayim. So therefore you should not eat something that was taken bought from Amar. So therefore Amad ve'hiskan lahem, he went and his masakin in order to get rid of to not to have this Chamar Aver misim de Shemayim. He said Alakech Peres Ma'amar, someone that buys Peres Ma'amar, it's Mafresh Ma'aser Rishon Ma'aser Sheni, takes Maiserishan Maiser Sheni Misafek because maybe it wasn't Hafresh. Maiserishan, and from the Maiserishan that is Mafresh, he's Mafresh at a Trumas Maiser, takes Trumas Maiser and he gives it to the Kohen. Maiser Sheni that is Mafresh, he goes and he eats in Yerushalayim. However, Maiserishan and Maiser Ani, which is Mafresh, he doesn't give it to a Levi or to Ani unless he knows for sure that the Meicha was not mafresh. Why? Because so you see that not everyone was mafresh Maiserishan. So it's Shver Rabbi Yossi that says that he used to give Maiserishan to the Kohanim. You see from this brisa that Yochanan Kohen Gadol, you see that not everybody even gave Maiserishan. So talking more Tarti Tikein. Two takonas Yochanan Zasagan. Bito vidu the Chaverim. He was vatal the video of the Chaverim because they weren't giving Maiserishan to the Levi, and also the Gazar al Demai Shal Ami Aretz. There's also goes on the Mai that from Ami Aretz that you should mafresh if you buy it from them, like before in the Brisa. The Mishnah said, like the Moraviter, v'afu bitos ha'ma'irim. Is mevatel the ma'irim. So more my ma'irim. What is that? Amar Rachva. So Rachva was a chacham. Said b'chol yom yoyim she'ya'im levim al duchen. And every day that the Levim would be on the Duchen in the Beis Hamikdash. But I would say the pasuk at Tehillim and Dal, pasuk of Dal, Ura Lama Sishan Hashem, and they be called Ma'irim. Amar Lahen, so Yochanan told the Ma'irim, Chiyei Sheina Lefnei HaMakom. Why do you have to say Ura Lama Sishan Hashem? Like, wake up. Is there such a thing as Sheina, sleep by Hashem? Like for Nemar, it says in Tehillim, Parak Kuf Chaval pasuk Daled. Says a pasuk, Hine la yanum v'lo yishon Shem Yisrael. Shem Yisrael, Rebbeinu Shalom doesn't sleep. Ella, so what does it mean? Ura lama sishan Hashem? That they said Bizman Yisrael shrim b'tzar, when you're in a shar b'tzar and pain, v'yichavim b'nachas v'shalva. So it looks chas v'shalom like Hashem sleeping. So l'kach nemar, that's what it says. Ura lama sishan Hashem. Zaktimar, the Mishnah said vas hanoikvim. Zaktimar my noikvim. Amar Yehuda Amar Shmuel. Yehuda said, Shayu Mesartim La'ego. They scratch themselves for. They scratch the ego of a carbon in between its horns because they shibul dam be'enov, that the blood should fall in its eyes and it shouldn't be able to see, and then it would be hard to stand, and then you'll be able to be easier to shech the animal. So Asaiyu Yochanan came and batal is mevatal this tradition. Because the srita, the scratch, looks like a mum in the carbon. Masnisa Tana, Zakti Gemara, that the noikvim shayu chayt v'moisai, the maklis, they would hit the carbon with sticks in order to make it fall down. Kadach sha'osim oisam fnei avezis chum, like they do in front of avezis chum. Amar lahen, so Yochanan told the noikvim, the people that did that, masat ha'machilim nevelis mizbeach, how long are you going to continue doing this and feeding nevelis from mizbeach? So fact Gemara, nevela is hashachat lahu. Why was he calling it? Why is Yochanan calling it nevelas? They were shechting it. So the Gemara, it doesn't mean mamash nevelas, ela treifus. It means treifus because the chashash shemanikav krum shamayach. Maybe so why treifus? Because maybe the membrane of the brain got a hole. Amad v'hiskin. Therefore, he went as masakin tabois bekarka, that there will be rings in the karka, and they would put the behemoth's neck inside those rings, and they would shecht it like that. It would make it easier. Zakti Gemara Vayta. The Mishnah said, "Ad yom of hayapatash makam Yerushalayim, a hammer we bang Yerushalayim and chol mayid." Zakti Gemara, it's talking about b'chol shom mayid, and it's geyser that they shouldn't work because the coil was nishma far away, and not everybody know that it was a melechas davar oven. Zakti Gemara Vayta. The Mishnah said, "Kol yom of layadam tzarich lishal admai." A person not to be shal admai. Zakti Gemara. Like we said before, that it was geyser that you should mafish from it, and therefore a chaver that took from a chaver, he did not have to be shoyal if it was hufish maisis, because if a chaver had it, then he for sure took maisis because it's mine. The Mishnah says, okay, so we have a new Mishnah. So the Mishnah is going to continue saying things that became batal because of our sins. So Zaktimar, Mishabatal Sanhedrin, batal hashir me beis hamishtais. When Sanhedrin was batal, was batal the song, so to speak, of the wine feast. It's apparently seen by Chasanim. It's talking about a Chasanim. Shenemar, because it says in Yeshaya, Perich of Dal, Pasuk Tes, Bashir lo yishtu yayin. V'shemesu levim, Rishonim died, Batlu or Tum is Batal. Shechar Beis Hamikdash, when the second Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, Batal Hashamir v'Neifes Sufim. So the Shamir worm and the Neifes Sufim was a type of flour, was Batal. Upasko Anshe Amanim Yisrael, and the people had B'tach on Hashem, and they would be Samech on Hashem, that Hashem would do good to them, and they wouldn't be doig, they wouldn't be worried that they're missing anything, so those people were also batal. When the Chara Beis Hamikdash Sheni. How do you know? Shenemar, it says a pasuk at Tehillim, Parak at Beis, pasuk Beis, Hoshia Hashem ki garma chasid, and then it says Fasu Emrunim. So Chazal understood that that's going at the times of the Churban. Zot the Gemara, Frak the Gemara. Oh, I'm sorry, it's another piece of the Mishnah. B'Shim Gamliel says, Hey, there B'Shua was made that Miyayim Shchar Beis Hamikdash, on the day that the second Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, Ein yom shem klala. There's no day that there's no curse. V'yard tal of bracha, tal then come down of bracha. V'nidol tal of pears. The taste of pears is taken away. Rabbi Yossi says, af nitol shuman. The fatness, or so to speak, this that a pears gives off, it saturates the person kind of, was taken away. Rabbi Yossi says, Rav Shimon ben Lazar says, HaTahara, when the Tahara was pasak from Yidin Natla, Hatam v'Sareach, HaMaisis Natla Shuman HaDagon, and the Bittul Maisis took away the Shuman of the Dagon, the set. V'Chacham says, Nus and Keshafim was Mavatal everything. So prostitution and sorcery took away everything. Zok the Gemara, Frak the Gemara, Mayim Shabbatul Sanhedre Ksiv. And how do you know that the shear stopped based on the stories at the time of Mavatal Sanhedrin, not from a different time? Amar Huna Brei Yeshua, Dr. Huna Brei Yeshua, the Amar Kral says a pasuk in Eicha Parak Hey Pasuk Yadal, Zekenim Misha Shavasu Bachur Minginasam. So you see the Nagina stopped when the Zakanim, which is referring to Sanhedrin, also stopped. Zakti Gemara, Amar Rav, Dr. Rav, Udnan the Shama Zimra, an ear that hears Zemer, music, Te'akar should be ripped out of this world. Amar Rava should be uprooted. Amar Rava, Dr. Rava, Zimra Bebesa, if there's music in the house, Churba Besifa, then there's the Churban on the other side. Shneimar Tzad Pasuk Tzvayid Perkei Pasuk Dal Kol Yishar B'Chaloin Choyer Basaf Ki Aras Eira. So Gemara, my Ki Aras Eira Amir B'Yitzchak Bayis HaMesubach Ba'Arazim, a bayis that's covered with Arazim Irhu. It's hard to destroy it, just like it's hard to destroy a city. There's Gemara Ela Filu Bayis HaMesubach Arazim. Come and say even a bayis Arazim Misra Eya could get destroyed from playing music. Amar Rav Ashi Shema Meina. You see from the pasuk Ki Maschal Churva Besipa Maschal Shenemar Chayr Basaf. Then when it starts a churva destruction, then it starts it in the threshold. Zakti Gemara Vayter. Another makar that Shira is Macher. V'yiba saying Mahacha. It says, pasuk Yeshaya Perich of Dal pasuk Yibez She'iya Yukas Shar. That since they drank by shear, so it says that's why there were shadim. So it's saying from desolation it is battered. That's why it was all battered. It says with that's why I had shadim. Amar Marav Ashli Di Chazile. I saw the shade v'menagach kitura, and it was goring like an ox. Amar Rav Huna Zimra denagdi udvakare. Zakti Gemara. So the thing that pulls boats and that pulls plows, shari. So that's mutter. But the gardoi is asir. So of weavers, that music that they use is asir. Rav Huna batal zimmer. Rav Huna was mavatal zimra. He was geyser that they should not sing in the houses and the base of shtoyas. Even zema that's mutter. And kam mea avazi bezuza, and there was a lot of shefa. Be able to get mea avazi one zuz, v'mea sa'achiti bezuza v'loy boy, and they didn't have to buy it. Asar of chizda zalza boy, he was zalza gzera, and he wasn't meichen the mezamrim, and he boya avazi bezuza, and he needed avazi bezuza v'loy mishtakach, and he couldn't find anyone that would sell to him bezuz. Amar Rav Yosef, Zamri Gabri va'oni nashi. When the men would sing and the women would answer, pritzusa, that's pritzus. Because Kol B'Isha is Arba. However, Samri Nashiv Ane Gavra, that's more Chomer because the Yetz is Miskar Ke'esh Ben Iris. Because the ones that are answering, so they're listening closely to the ones that are singing it the first time. So it comes that the men are listening to the women. So what's an afkamina? This is more chamer. They're both aser. So the Gemara afkamina is about tuli ha mikami ha. If it's shaykh and vatal both of them, they're vatal the first one, which is more chamer, which is the nashim going first. Amar b'yechin kol shoysi yayin. Shokol shoysi, if somebody drinks barba min is zemer. Somebody drinks wine in these 4 types of zemer, maybe chamish pranis lo'ilam. It brings 5 pranis lo'ilam. Shenema tzatz the pasuk in shaya. Parakeh Pasial Vin Beis, Haimashim Abaika Shekhid from Achra Neshaf Yayin Likim, Vahayachina Nevel Taifa Cholm Yayin Mishneim Beis Perlashim Yabitu. Maksiv, what does it say in the pasuk Achrav? After that, it says 5 paranis. The first one is Lachin Gola Ami Blidas, meaning that the Shagar Min Golas La'ilam. The second one is a Chvayde Masi Rav, Mesei Rav, that they bring Rav La'ilam. The third one is Vahamoyne Tzichet Sama, that they go in the Torah Shetashakach Levendel. And the fourth one is, it says in Pasuk Tezvav, it says Vayishach Adam Yishbal Ish, and the Gorim Shiflus L'Sayne Shal HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ve'ein Ish Ella HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shenemar says Pasuk Shmois Tezvav Pasuk Gimel, Hashem Shulchama. The fifth thing that the Gorim is Ve'ein Egoyim Tishpalno, that the Gorim Shiflus in Yisrael, Umaksiv Achra. What does it say after that? After the Gorim is 5 paranis, the phone to Gehenim. Because it says in Pasuk Yudalid, it says L'chein herchiva sha'ol nafsha ufara piyol of lichoik v'yard hadar v'hamayna u'sha'ina v'olaz ba. Zok the Gemara weiter. It says, the Mishnah said, Mishnah Mesu Nevi'im Harishayim is Batal over Tumim. Zok the Gemara, man Nevi'im Harishayim. Who are the Nevi'im Harishayim that we're talking about? It's like the Gemara, Rav Huna is that David, Shmuel, and Shloimeh. Rav Nachman says, be made David in the days of David. Zimnin, Salak, Zimnin Lay Salak. Sometimes they would have the Urim Tumim, and sometimes they would not. Shrei Sha'al, Tzaddik v'Asalai. Tzaddik asked the Urim Tumim and got answered. However, Sha'al of Yasser and V'lei Asalai. How do you know? So it says in Shmuel and Beis, characters of Pasuk of Dal, V'yal of Yasser, that he was a stalak from the Kahuna Gedolah because the Urim Tumim didn't answer. Frek the Gemara on Rav Huna. Masav Rabba Bar Shmuel, it says in Divrei Yom Beis, Parak Chavav Pasuk Hey, Vayihi Lidrash Elikim Kol Yemei Zechariah Hamevim B'Rois Elikim Ma'elav the Darshan the Urim Tumim, even in the days of Zechariah, which was in the days of Yayash, Zakti Gemara, Loi, they Darshan in the Nevi'im, not in the Urim Tumim. So it's not Shver Rav Huna, it says it was bought already from the days of Yerushalayim. Frek Gemara Tashma, bring a Raya Mishchar B'S HaMikdash Rishayin, Batlo Ari Migrash. When the first piece of Mikdash was destroyed, then the Ari Migrash, which is the cities of Levium, that the Yidden were commanded to give them like land around their cities, that was Batal. Upask Urim Tumim, Upasak Melech Beis David. V'im L'chashcha Adam Loimar. If someone wants to ask you from the Pasuk, it says in Ezra Beis, Pasuk Samach Gimel says Vayomer HaTershasa Lahem. He told the Kahanim that there was a suffix in their yichus, Ashla Yochel Mikodesh HaKadoshim. They should not eat from the Kodesh Kachim, Adamite Kain L'Rutumim, until they can vire through the Rutum to see if they're Kahanim Ksherim. So you see L'chayra that there was Urim Tumim and Bayis Sheni, and it wasn't destroyed by Bayis Rishon. And Mar Loi, like the Gemara, tell him that HaTershasa was talking about Ka'adim Shem L'Chaver, like a person tells his friend, Achi and Mason v'Yom Mashiach b'David. He was trying to say that when Mashiach comes, you'll ask him the Urim Tumim. So, but l'chayr affecting Gemara, you see from this whole thing that we just brought that the Urim Tumim is bought already by Mikdash Rishon, and not like Rav Huna said that it was from the time of Nevi'im, David, Shmuel, and Shloimeh. So Gemara, Elamar Menachem Yitzchak Man Nevi'im Rishayim. Who are the Nevi'im Rishayim? The Nevi'im the Bayis Rishon. Lafuke, besides from Chagai, Zechariah, Malachi, they were Nevi'im Bayis Sheni. The Achreinim Ninu. They were Nevi'im Achreinim. They were not Nevi'im, the first Nevi'im. Zok the Gemara. And Aval, you'll say that the Urim was bought already from the Churban Bayis Rishon. Tana Rabbanan, Mishamesu Chag Zechariah Malachi. It said the Rabbanan learned it from when Chag Zechariah Malachi died. It was a stalka Ruach HaKodesh Mi Yisrael. Ruach HaKodesh went away, and Nevuah was bought. Av became Hayim Mishtamshim Baskel. Still used a Baskel at the time. Bayis Sheni Shapam Achas Hayim Misuim Balias Beis Guri B'Richai. There was a time that the Chachamim were around that meeting in the Aliyah Beis Goyer in Yerichai and Nitna Aleim Baskel Mashmai v'Amra Baskel came out and said Yesh Bechem Adam Echad Sharoy Shetish Shechina Alav. There is a person amongst you that the Shechina can rest on him. Ela She'ein Deira Lekach. However, his generation is not roy for it. That there should be a Navi. And Nasnu Eineim B'Hil HaZakan. The Chachamim put their eyes on Hil HaZakan. They understood that that's who the Baskel was going on, because Hillel was special. So when Hillel died, they were mastering him. They said, "Hey Chassid, hey Anav, Tamida Shal Ezra," because he came up from Bavel, and he became a Nasi just like Ezra. So that's why they called him Tamid Shal Ezra. That's what Masha says. Masha brings, so I guess it's the Gemara Sanhedrin et al. Okay. V'shuv pam acheres like the Gemara b'sum b'aliyah b'yavne. They were in Aliyah and Yavne. They were meeting nid lehem baskel m'ashemayim baskel me'er v'omer lehem yesh b'chem adam echad sharoy shetish china olav al she'ein der zakon lekach nasnu name b'shmuel hakatan. They put their eyes. Chacham assumed was going on Shmuel hakatan. He was called Shmuel hakatan because he made himself small, or because he was a little smaller and smaller Masi. Okay. Ukshemei, when Shmuel Katan died, we do Heinan of Heichaz Tamid Shahil, Va'afhu Amar B'Shas B'Sasa, and Shmuel Katan said at the time of Misa, Shimon Yishmael, Reb Shimon Gamliel, and Reb Shmuel ben Elisha, Lecharva will die Becher, V'Chavroy Lektala, and their friends the Chachamim with other Misas, Ushar Amal Abiza, and the rest of Klal Yisrael is to be plundered. And there's a lot of tzaras going to come on the Yidden, and l'maisa taka happened. There was a tzara rugay malchus. So you see that the Shechina was shayr va'afal Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba bikshu loymar heichas deyanav, and also on Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba they wanted to say heichas deyanav el shenitrafa shah. Just the time didn't work out. Because the Malchus killed him, and you're not maspid on Aruga Malchus because of Amos HaMelech, and therefore the people that giving a spade them couldn't do it. Zak the Gemara, the Mishnah said Mishcharbas Hamikdash Batal Hashamir, the Shamir worm was Batal. Tanur Rabbanan, Zak the Gemara, Shamir was a worm that cut the Avanim without having to use a knife. That's the Ram Pirish Mishnah says. Zakti Gemara Shabai Ban Shlomo is the Beis Hamikdash. Shlomo was able to build the Beis Hamikdash. Now it says in Malachim Alf, Parak Vav Pasuk Zayin, V'Habayis Beis Hamikdash Miban Noisai, Evan Shlomo Masa Nivna Hadvarim Kiksavam. They didn't have to use metal, and that's why they needed the Shomer. Divrei Yehuda, that's what Yehuda says. Amar Lem Nechemi told Yehuda, V'Chiaf Shalom, can is possible to say like that, like Far Nemar, it says in Malachim Aleph Parak Zayin Pasuk Tes, Kol Ela Avanim Yakares. They're heavy stones, Migaras Bamigera, that they cut them with Klibarzel. So Im came Matam Aloim, I wanted to say Klibarzel, but Nishma Abayis Vihabanoisai. Rather, it's going on the Harabayis because Shlomo was only used metal to cut outside of the Harabayis. And then he would bring it in, and inside he would not use metal, apparently. Amar Rebbe, Nirin de Rabbi Yehuda, you see like Rabbi Yehuda didn't use Barzel, Ba'avnei Mikdash, Videre Ibn Nechemya, that they did use Barzel outside, Ba'avnei Beisai. So apparently there's a second sheet over here, Nechemya, that holds that Shlomo did use Barzel. So frankly more of Nechemya that holds he used Barzel, Shaman L'mayasa, what do you need to have the Shomer in the Mikdash? So like the Gemara, Bayalei needed it for the avonim, for the stones of the Eifin Nechoshen, the Tanya, avonim alalo of the Eifin Nechoshen, in Koisman Nesebid Yoi, you don't write it in ink, B'Shem Shenemar, it says in Shmoyis Parach Chav Ches, Pasuk Chav Aleph, Pituche Choisam has to be engraved, and ink is not engraving, Ve'im Sartalim B'Zemel, and you can't scratch it out with a zemel. You also can't scratch it out with a blade. Mishum shenemar, it says in Shmais Baruch Chav Ches Pasuk Chav, b'milu oisam, that should be shalim without anything missing, any chsaron. A koisam leim ediyor, you write in ink, umar lahem shamer b'chutz, and you put the shamer on the top of the diyoy, and if kois ma'alein, and it would happen by itself in the area of the ink, wherever they outlined it, and it would not be missing anything. Just like a fig that would split in the hot summer days and wouldn't be missing anything. And like a valley that would split in the rainy days in the winter, and it wouldn't be missing anything. Zakta Gemara, Tanra Banan, Shamer Zeh, this Shamer, Briyasai Kisa'ir, is as big as Sa'ir, a barley, Mishesh Me Bereshis Nivra, it was created Shesh Me Beresh. Inkal Davar Kashi Yachalam Fanav, and nothing hard could stand in front of it, was able to split anything. But Mem Shamer Naisai, so Ibzai, how would you watch it if it would split anything? Karchanai Bisfagin Shal Temer, you would tie it with clumps of wool. You tie it with clumps of wool, and you would put it in a tube with lead. Malaya subi sa'irin. With bran of sa'irin. So that's how they would keep the shamer. Zakta Gemara, Amar Abami, Mishchar Bing Deshvishim, when the first Beis Hamikdash were destroyed, Batla Shira Pranda, a certain type of silk was batal, was Chuchas Levana, and glass, a certain type of glass. Zakta Gemara Vaiter, Tanya Nami, Hacham Mishchar Bing Deshvishim, Batla Shira Pranda, Chuchas Levana, the Rechav Barzel and chariots of metal. Yeshem Af Yayin Karush Hababas Nir. Some say also Yayin, that's congeal, that came from a sneer, which is the name of a place. Hadayim Kigula Devela. And it was similar to round cakes of pressed figs. Zakta Gemara Vaiter V'Noifas Sufim. My Noifas Sufim. What does Noifas Sufim mean? There's a batal Noifas Sufim. It's like Gemara Marav, Soilas Shetzafa Al Gape Nafa. Flour that was stuck to a sifter because it was so fatty. It was similar to a dough that was kneaded with honey and oil. V'Levi Amar, it's a bracha on the Isa that happens shtei kikaras anad bakos, that the breads were stuck to two ends of the oven. They would get so big until they just put two chals in and it filled up the entire oven. Zakting Gemara Vaiter, first scene says Al Pi Rashi, that was like mushrooms, it just exploded. Zakting Gemara Vaiter, B'Shua Malevi Amar B'Shua Malevi says, Neifas Sufa means a dvash habam and atzipiyah. It was high mountains that you were able to see from far. But Gemara, my mashma, how do you know that Dvash came from mountains? Like the Gemara, Kantagam Risheshas, like Risheshas translated the passing in Devarim Alf, passing Mam Dalad, Kasha Tasheno Hadavarim, Kema de Natzan Dabar Yasa V'Shaitem Berumi Alma, Umaisian Dufsha Mi Isbe Tura. Just like the bees would fly around on the mountains and bring honey from there. Zakti Gemara, Tanan Hasim, we learned in the Mishnah Machshir and Perak Hey Mishnah Test. It says, Kol Hanitzuk, any liquid, any mashka that gets poured from a kli tar to a kli tamei, tahar. So it's not mechaber the mashka ha'elyoin to the tachtan to mitamed. So the kli tar that it came from stays tar. Chutz midvash zifim v'atzapichim. Besides, for dvash zifim and tzapichim, that it's thick, and it's so thick that when the stream stops, when you pour from one kli to another kli, it could go back up because it's so sticky. So male it's metame, even the kli that's higher up. So Gemara, my zifim, what does zifim mean? Rabbi Yochanan devashram zifim boy. It's honey that you mix in it water and wine, and it's not nicker this that you mixed anything into it because it's so thick. Rish Lakish Amar, Lakish says Al Shem Yekayma, it's called like that. Al Shem, the place it comes from. The Chesiv, it says the Chalukas Aretz Yeshua Perak Tesvav Paschav Dal Zif Vatelam Va'olei. So it's a place. Kiretz B'Darat Aimer. In a pasuk in Tehillim Perak Nadal Pasuk Beis, it says B'Voy Hazifim V'Yoyim Lushal Hay David. For Gemara, my Zifim or Rabbi Yochanan B'nei Adam Ham Zifim the Ram. People that they falsify their words and they lie. Or Blazar Aimer Al Shem Kaiman, it's Al Shem Kaiman Kedechsiv Zif V'Talam Va'alais.